I don't answer questions.
Okay, I don't really know how to respond to that, sir.
You bastard.
Bastard.
You either fight me or you lose your teeth.
About to find me up UCTs.
Captain Awesome.
There's a nice lady.
Yeah.
Thanks for treating my correspondent with respect and dignity, man. The other day, Lana is,
Yes, sir.
my name's Finn. Every polite conversation begins with an introduction.
Yes,
Finn.
Have we met before?
No, but I know who you are, obviously.
Oh, okay.
One of my correspondents was out here on Monday,
Okay.
trying to get a story, and was unlawfully trespassed from a couple of public spots
Okay.
by your lieutenant.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know a little bit about it.
Well, we want to get the rest of the story. Okay.
Yeah, we can. So right now, what was the name? Lana? So Lana is filing a complaint.
Yes, sir.
She got a complaint form. Once she gets the complaint, then we'll address it appropriately.
Okay.
All right. Well, we
And
want
that's
to
all
finish
we're gonna
getting
do.
our story,
Okay.
and we
Well,
don't
you-
want to be trespassed from a public spot because in order to do that, you have to commit a crime. We're not criminals.
We're not addressing that here. Has anybody trespassed you?
No.
Okay. Well, good.
Well,
Let's
we'll
let
give you a
her-
heads up.
We'll let her.
This is
We'll address her. Okay.
Yeah, we're not here for her.
Okay.
Right.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. he
We're
is.
giving you the
He told me he was here for her.
We're doing a
Question.
follow-up
Okay.
story. We're giving you the heads up that
Okay.
we're going to go finish that story
Okay.
and get what we need, and we don't want to be unlawfully trespassed.
So you're going to somebody's business, place of business?
No,
going to the
we're
public spots.
We're going to public
We're
building.
going to city
What we
hall,
came here
Okay.
first
You're
for.
going to the school too?
the
No.
school board.
You're going to the school board?
Yeah,
School
and is
board.
there a statute that applies to the press?
There is a statute.
What
Look
is that
under
statute?
Section H.
Okay.
Section H of
We'll
that statute
have
that you
this-
quoted her,
Okay.
please.
Okay, we'll look. We'll
Oh,
look.
oh,
In order to not cost the Union County citizens a civil lawsuit,
Oh, no. We're
please, let's
Yeah.
obey the law
Okay.
and not restrict our freedom of the press.
Okay, absolutely. But when you're disrupting, and this is
No.
what they told them. They told us that she was disrupting
Okay.
their work environment, and they wanted her gone. That was the city manager, and that's what we did.
And you just take anybody's word for it and you don't conduct a proper investigation?
We're going to do an investigation now.
Okay.
Because
Well,
she's filing a complaint.
I understand a regular jackboot deputy, but your lieutenant, you have a discipline
Oh.
problem in your ranks. Your lieutenant was the one who enforced that unlawful trespass.
So we're not going to talk ugly about anybody. Okay?
We're not?
Yeah, you said Jack, whatever.
I said-
there's no need for that.
I-
Let's just be honest, okay? Hey,
I
y'all
said
gotta do
if
what
it was a regular jackboot deputy, which I'm not calling anybody that.
just call him a sheriff deputy is what we are.
Okay.
A regular sheriff deputy.
Okay, but your lieutenant, who should
Okay.
know better, unlawfully trespassed one of our correspondents.
Okay, you're
For no
saying
reason.
unlawfully. Okay,
There's-
but now, like I say, she's filing a complaint. We'll investigate
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Have you seen the
She'll
video?
she'll take care of that.
No, I have not. Like I said,
Okay.
she's
I have.
filing a complaint. Okay, well,
Yeah,
good.
go
And
go
this is the
go
thing.
go
Let me-
go
good for you.
to go to
Let me
commercial.
explain also, Sheriff,
Yeah, that's fine.
is that when you're talking to me with this camera, you're talking to everybody who's watching it. Same with her. So when one of the deputies
That's fine.
or lieutenant
That's fine.
violates her rights, two more people are going to come and challenge it.
That's fine.
All right.
That's fine.
And basically, we just came here to see if there has been an understanding of, what is a disruption, right? So me walking in here with this camera is not, and in no way can be considered a disruption.
It's not
No,
the
you're not
truth.
just-
It's not fair to all concerned. It's not beneficial to all concerned. It doesn't build goodwill and better friendships, right?
So if I'm walking around the office that's
Full Harris
publicly
plus door.
accessible, right, and me just walking, not saying anything, me just walking, looking, that's not a disruption. And when you come up to me and you say, "Hey, you can't be here," and I say, "Yes, I can," that's also not a disruption.
When you
Right.
Hey, guys, we're not gonna sit here and beat this horse to death. Okay?
Well, no.
All right. So what you brought it? You said you have she has a complaint. When she addresses that complaint, we'll address it appropriately.
Okay, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to put you on notice that we're going to go and finish our story, and we don't want to be unlawfully trespassed. Because
So that building, she's the city manager. If she asks you guys to leave,
for any reason, on a
I
whim,
don't know. That's her building. I don't know.
No, it's not her
No,
building,
no,
it's the
That-
public
That's
building.
I know, but that's her building. That's
No,
her place of work.
that's
If
our
you're
building.
if you're interrupting, it's all of ours. Absolutely. But she's managing it. Okay. So
Right.
just listen to
But
her
she
and talk
can't
to her.
manage it on a whim.
And
the
don't
law,
get
the law
ugly with it.
dictates that if somebody is not committing a crime on public property, they can't be trespassed. It's not like a private business where I just don't like the color of their shirt. They got to get out of here.
Yeah.
You know, that's
the
for a gas
difference.
station. You know,
That's the
not
difference.
for City Hall, sir. That's why
Right.
we're here.
Right. The courts have already
Well, I
decided.
don't even know why she was there, so hopefully she'll address why she was there.
Well, that
She
What
doesn't
was
have
the-
to.
Right,
You'll find out in
then
our
we can find
story.
out.
yeah, it doesn't matter. Just like you guys don't call drug dealers and say, hey, you know, this is why we're coming to bust you. Right? The press doesn't have to say, hey, this is why. I mean, can you imagine if I'm coming to a public building, let's say the mayor, I'm doing a story on the mayor about his corruption. I don't call the mayor and say, hey, mayor, I'm coming in to do a story on corruption. Is that okay? What do you think the mayor's going to say? Come and investigate me?
Let's start over, Sheriff. You don't like working with bad apples, do you?
No, we're good. You guys,
So let me help you. Help me help you. We use this. This is the witness that doesn't lie. To show you where corrections need to be made in your ranks. If somebody is earning a lawsuit for the citizens, you are an elected official. If the people see that you're just letting people waste their money, you're not going to get reelected. So fix it to help you and help others and help our community.
Yeah, all we want to do is what the law allows. That's it.
Exactly.
We're not looking for any special
I'm not looking for a
privileges
payout
or
with a lawsuit either.
special access. I'm not looking to go into places I shouldn't be. The law states that the public and the press have the same right of access. So wherever the public can be, the press can be. Well, right. So if I'm there in the city hall and the city manager says, hey, I don't like you
keep
because you're
going over the
recording.
same stuff, and I
Well,
get it.
well, the thing
Okay.
I get
is
what you're
that,
saying.
but
Hey, as
you're
long as
telling
there's,
us, you're
as long
telling
as
us that
there's
she can just
disruption.
tell us
No.
to get out. Because people have a
Well,
grievous
we keep-
misconception of what we do. We're not looking for a lawsuit. We're not. I do well by doing good in my profession.
Okay.
This is my civic duty, and we're trying to get a story to put it out to the people.
Okay.
And if that's being prevented from getting the whole story, that's I can give you case law
Put
after
the
case
story
law.
out. You got it already,
Smith
right?
versus the City of Cumming.
Okay.
We have the right to record public officials
That's
on
right.
their doing their public duty for a matter of public interest. That's our dime. You know, so we need to know. And if we don't look, then you get away with stuff like the Marion County School for Kids or
The Dozier School for
the
Boys.
Dozier School for Boys. Stuff like that happens when we don't look. Look it
That's
up.
where they found like 80 boys raped and murdered and buried in unmarked graves up there in Mariana, which is, I think, Jefferson County. It was the boys' prison up there for like 100 years. So, yeah, there's
There's
and
reasons
again,
for
we
this.
just want to
100
do what the law allows. We're not out to break the law. And when you say causing a disturbance,
I don't know. I wasn't there.
right.
I wasn't there.
And I want to be clear. Let's say we go over there and she calls you up and says, hey, Sheriff,
out.
I want these guys out there causing a disturbance. Are you going to come over there and say,
We'll see what she says. We'll see what's going on.
well,
Okay.
We'll come over there.
So-
and we'll address it as it is.
With
That's
no
what we address-
investigation or
we-
anything,
We
we'll just be
address each
trespassed?
incident as it is.
okay.
If we see that there's sufficient.
What would you consider, what's a disturbance in Florida?
We're not.
Well, you would be,
I mean, I'm not sitting here. We're just not going to keep beating this dead horse.
well, I just want to
Let's move
understand
on.
what I
You guys
can
go
do.
what you need to, sir.
I said you're not very receptive to
Yeah, I mean,
this discourse that I think is respectful.
We keep running around in circles. And
Well, I just want to make sure that I stay within the law. I just want to make
Yeah.
sure that I stay within the law.
Absolutely.
So what would you consider a
what we're-
disturbance? Like
You're-
what the law considers a disturbance, like hollering, yelling, stuff like that?
conducting a constitutionally protected act.
Look here, I mean, we can keep on and on all day long.
We have you at a
You guys
disadvantage.
go
I
with your-
have seen the video of what happened, and there was no disturbance. All she asked was that person's name, and they said, "Oh, I'm calling the cops on you," and that's it. We have a caring
I don't-
syndrome in this country.
Okay, I don't
And you
understand
guys
that.
gotta stop saying, "Put me in, coach." You gotta start telling people, hey, it's their civic duty and it's their right to be able to come into City Hall and get public records, like who is getting paid with my dollars. Give me your name. Give me your salary. How much do you get paid a year? Sure.
Just go ahead. Y'all go ahead and do what you need to do, guys. I mean,
Do you have that number in your head readily available?
What you, go ahead. Go
If
ahead and do
you
what
do,
gotta
if you know how much you get paid, I'm asking you public records request.
Yeah,
right now.
send a public records request in and we'll do it.
I can do it verbally under the Sunshine Act.
Okay.
And if you have it
Well, yeah,
readily
I don't
available,
have it
if you
ready.
know that,
No, I
you
don't
don't,
have
okay.
I have to look it up.
Okay, can you write down my email and send it to me, please? I just wanna know how much money you're getting paid.
What's your email?
Rights Like, know your rights?
You write that.
No, sir. Please, you write
Go
it
ahead
down
and write
for
that
me.
for me.
If you say that you can't read my writing, I always have public
Okay.
officials write it down so they can't say they can't read my
Go
writing.
ahead. Go ahead. I'll let you know if I can read it.
No, sir, please. You stop resisting.
Hey, you want to write this down for me?
Can you stop resisting and just comply?
I'm actually illiterate. I'm sorry. I'm
Rights?
sorry.
I am too.
Rights.
Yeah, I'm illiterate.
W
No, RIGHTS.
RIGHTS.
Crispy, CRISPY, at gmail.com. And then, like, your salary, including benefits, and any overtime that you've made this year,
Okay. All right.
and that's it.
All right, guys. You have a good day.
Actually, a couple more things. A roster of your deputies, names, badge numbers, and vehicle assignments.
Okay.
Your,
Gene, you want to write this stuff down for me?
SOP, standard
yeah, your
operating
standard
procedure.
operating procedures or your general orders, whatever you have in a PDF format. And your signal codes and
One
10
second.
codes. Oh, sure.
Second.
I'm sorry.
Roster of deputies, there's
Names, badge numbers, and vehicle assignments, please.
Was there another part of the building over here?
That's how every rude conversation ends, with someone scurrying off and avoiding transparency. That's not fair. I'm sorry. Names, badge numbers, vehicle assignments, a PDF of the general orders, and signal codes or dispatch codes, 10 codes. List of those. And again, the first thing I said, or dispatch codes, 10 codes, whatever they call them. But again, the first thing I said when I came in here, and I'm reiterating it again, thank you very much for being a shining example of how people should behave when you're taking public dollars and how you should treat the public. Thank you very much. You are to be commended. I saw that video and I saw how you treated Lana, and it's commendable. And I let the stars shine and the snowflakes melt. That's one of my points that I make. I don't just show one side. I show everybody who's doing a good job.
well, that's my job, and I treat everyone the same because I want
For the same reason that other people don't. It's the way you were raised. You're making your family proud by showing your good manners and your good behavior, and that's how we should all make this crummy world better. Thank you.
So there's roster of deputies.
I like how they all-
Badge numbers and vehicle assignments, PDF of the general orders, and signal codes, dispatch codes,
Yes.
whatever we call that.
And his salary and all that stuff.
Okay, I think his salary,
And benefits and his overtime hours that he got this year. You know, a lot of deputies will retire and then they get hired on as a reserve deputy, so they double dip. And then their last year, they get piled on their overtime. Everybody gives them all that overtime because that's what your pension is based off. And in a year or two, they're millionaires. And I'm not, trying to count other people's money. I'm counting our money, and we're just digging deeper. And, I'm not saying defund the police, but we gotta get rid of all these overtime. If somebody arrests somebody a half hour before shift change just to get their pockets lined, and that's happened. I have a prosecutor who saw too many things come before her desk, and she realized, this guy's not a drug dealer. He doesn't have any weight, there's no scales or cash. And she saw the correlation, and the causation is they were arresting people a half hour before shift change just so they could sit around, wait for the DA to call them back and do some easy paperwork for overtime. They don't care that that person is not going to get convicted, or that they have to get bail and a lawyer and a job and having their picture on the internet, like peeing in a pool, you can't get it out. They're getting their overtime, and they're getting their pension, and they're going to watch out for each other for that too. Thanks for understanding and listening.
you're welcome, you're welcome.
You mind if I take a little tour around?
I've already looked around. It's neat that the sheriff's stars on the door have the name of the office, the person that's in the office. You don't see that a lot. This is a lot smaller sheriff's office than I'm used to, though. But this is Captain Lynn Williams, Chief Deputy.
So, yeah.
I think that's the whole roster right up there.
And this makes sense, this tracks. Victim advocate. Thank you for that too.
Oh, you're welcome. We wear a lot of hats, so I do my best.
You know,
They probably.
I don't think it's a training problem. It's a hiring problem. Sometimes these 19-year-old psychopaths get hired and they've never been in trouble. And then they get that shield that shields them. And they treat it like a crown. And we have to get those bad apples out. That's why I asked him, do you like working with bad apples? No. I don't imagine that. My friends and family with that badge, they don't like it either. But they can't say it. Because they're not that high up. And if they say something,
It depends on what his original.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
Depends on what his original charge.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
All
And
across the nation.
they don't get a penny of my tax dollars.
Yeah. All over this nation.
Yes.
Tons of them.
And then there are
And
a lot of
then I
good
think
people.
there's a lot. Oh, absolutely. I totally agree with that too. There's good ones on.
Look, if Tucker Carlson or Chris Cuomo walked into City Hall, would he have been trespassed? 2 newspapers shut down
Who's that?
every week in this country.
Tucker
2
who?
local newspapers shut down every week in this country. This is the new news. And like I said,
yeah,
you're talking
nobody
to everybody watching.
Nobody looks at the local news anymore.
Right. That's why I started my own news agency. To get the real truth out there. And I don't edit any of this stuff. And I don't try to antagonize people. If you see me asserting my right or being frustrated with what I saw, it's understandable, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It is.
So I'm not being the antagonist. I'm pleading with you. I'm being supplicant. Please help us. Okay?
Okay. Absolutely.
Use the 4-way test.
We will.
Yeah, yeah. We love good cops. We love good law enforcement. We need law enforcement in the country, right?
Yeah.
Murders and rapes ain't gonna stop
Absolutely.
themselves, right?
How long have you been a
Absolutely.
military? Sure.
10 years.
10 years? Same.
10 years.
But we
Well,
want to
2013,
make
so
sure
11 years,
that
so-
everybody obeys the law, right? Nobody should get a pass on the law just because of where you work, or who you know, or who your daddy is, right? I mean, that makes sense, right? If the laws are great and they should apply to everybody, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All
Can
right.
I ask you a question that you, by all rights, should know the answer to? And if you don't know the answer, would you make a good faith effort to know it?
I think I'm done answering your questions. I appreciate it, though.
Oh, I was just gonna ask. What are the 5 protections of the First Amendment? You don't want to make a big deal? No? Well, I'll tell you anyway, for fun and for free. Here's this education. Freedom of the press, what we're doing right now. Freedom to assemble, like we're doing. Freedom
of
to
speech.
seek redress for our grievances, like we're doing. Freedom of religion and freedom of speech. By God.
Absolutely.
And that's, I told
I don't have a
some,
problem with any of those,
I
right?
told, as you can see from my badge, I was just at the Alachua County Sheriff's Office the other day, and what I told them
Have
is
y'all met
that
the new sheriff, huh?
Yes.
Good guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so and we
Good guy.
get
Good man.
we get around all
Last
over
one,
the
that's not so
country.
much.
That who?
Last one, not
Oh
so
no,
much.
he was terrible.
Yeah,
He was terrible.
Exactly.
but I told them, I
Terrible.
said,
And
you
guess
know,
what helped? Get rid of them.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
yeah. The basis for all law enforcement is the protection of rights. So any crime you can think of, whether it's murder, rape, burglary, it all boils down to the protection of someone's rights. If someone breaks into a business, you're going out there and investigating to protect those owners' property rights, right? If somebody comes in and says, hey, I've been assaulted, you're now protecting their rights.
Have you done your homework on the Union County Sheriff's Office?
No, this is
About
the
our-
first.
No, I'm just saying about our.
No, this is the first time I've been
Our
here.
clearance rates.
As far as case closure,
Yeah, I'm just wondering if.
no, I have not.
should
But
do it.
is it good? Because I know.
Could you please amend my records request and add that to it, please?
Yeah, nationwide, I know
That's good. You should look at it.
property
It's
rates,
on- It's public record on FDLE website. It's published on FDLE website.
FDLE website. Okay,
That's
yeah,
good.
yeah,
Call
because
me Jerry, but you're Brad?
We're Brad. But we're very blessed that we have a lot of our citizens, you're only as good as your citizens.
That's right.
Because they solve a lot of our stuff.
Of course.
Help us solve a lot of our stuff.
anybody that's watched the first 48 knows that.
Oh, yeah.
If they don't get a tip in the first 48 hours, that case has gone cold.
Absolutely.
I was
So
hoping to come away, with a different point of view, and you too. But you have your mindset, and you have your belief set. You think that we're the antagonistic kind or something?
No, I believe some do antagonize.
Oh,
absolutely.
She was very
and that's what
antagonistic
motivated me.
yesterday.
I watched his stuff, and I said, I got to do it like he does.
She was antagonizing yesterday, so I mean.
Do you feel we were today?
Mm-mm.
Okay, because
Oh,
this
never
is how
felt.
we always operate. And
if
actually,
if you go to antagonizing us, then we're gonna come back. But it's
Right.
just-
We're
Well,
not looking
people
to do that.
people give what they get.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I'm the same way now. I'm gonna give
You know,
you give
yeah,
me a little
exactly,
bit,
and just like that, when people,
But I'm not gonna spar back and forth with you guys.
Right,
That's
right.
what y'all do for a living. And I'm not gonna play the spar.
No, like
Well,
I said,
that's-
I have my profession.
Well,
I have my profession.
That's y'all's game, and I'm not playing it.
well,
This
that's
is
what
not
any
what I do for a
journalist
living.
does. That's what any journalist does,
Yeah,
right?
oh, absolutely.
So,
And if
I mean,
did do this for a living, it's the only job protected by the Constitution. You know that, right?
well, besides the sheriff is a constitutionally elected position.
Yeah.
So there's two jobs mentioned in the Constitution: the press and the sheriff. So we need to get along and help.
We get along with all of our press.
Okay,
All of our press.
okay, that's good.
They call us all the time. We give them anything. We love doing stories.
Okay,
Because we do a lot of Facebook stuff. So,
okay,
so
All right.
they've linked into our Facebook now. So whenever we do stories in our, you ought to check out that.
yeah,
It's good. It's
Okay.
good. I mean, you
All right.
see all the.
well,
I follow a lot of sheriff's office Facebook. I'll add yours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
now do you guys?
I don't do a lot of social media. Look at it. I just don't have time.
Now,
Two young kids.
who does your social
Same here.
media for you guys?
So one of my captains.
One of the captains.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know if you guys block or delete comments or hide anybody?
So we have I think there's like an auto if it's cursing and stuff like that.
Okay, so
it.
just it. Okay,
That's it. We just, I mean, no. We like let them spar.
okay.
They spar back and forth with each other.
Well, because a lot of times,
Discourse is good.
yeah, a
Because
lot.
when you arrest somebody for drugs, it's like, so you get bashed from people all up north and stuff. That's like,
Well,
you know,
people,
drugs are the.
you can imagine how our comment section is. A lot of people are just blindly back in the blue, and they don't see that I'm back in the blue. I was telling Gene, I'm sorry, that I have family with that badge, but they can't call out their colleagues because they won't get backup. They'll get Serpico. They'll get left to bleed out. But I don't have to worry about that thin blue line. That's why I feel we must do this. We must bring those bad apples to shame so we don't have to deal with a spoiled bunch. We get the bad ones out of your ranks, or just make the proper corrections to the behavior so it doesn't happen again. Better yet, make the proper hiring. Like I was saying to Gene, that you can't just hire a 19-year-old who's never been in trouble before and expect him to, never, that he's going to treat that badge like a crown, and he's going to get away with a lot more stuff.
Well, we're smaller than most,
Right.
so
it's a lot easier for you to keep
lot
them
easier.
reined in.
much easier to manage.
Right.
I live in a small
absolutely.
town also nearby, Alachua, and the
That's
city of
not small to me.
no
Nothing like this.
the city of Alachua.
The city of Alachua is a.
Yeah, well, actually, I live in between Alachua and High Springs.
Oh, that's a great.
So now High Springs is a small town,
It is a small town, yes.
and there's a High Springs police officer, and that police department is a source of pride for me. I have a great companionship with Antoine Shepard. He
Yes.
and I speak often.
We work very closely with them, and you'll be surprised how much the border, all of our crimes cross the county line.
Yeah.
And all.
Of course.
And I know the
And so
sheriff's
he-
office
he's been
loans out
very
their
good with
equipment
us.
sometimes, or they come and bring their equipment whenever
With
needed.
sheriff's office.
At
Alachua.
Alachua Sheriff's-
Yes.
Yeah, they have.
They do now with
That's one of the
Sheriff
things
Gaines.
that we were looking at. We're looking at their
MRAPs.
He's great.
Yeah, we went back there. He
You
gave
were
us a
looking at
tour
his
of all
what
the
now?
his
MRAPs.
MRAPs. Yeah, MRAPs, and he has one of those bulldozer skids.
that a deputy invented. And
Yeah.
Our story is that deputy has never gotten paid for it. The Bobcat company is taking the patent and making millions and millions of dollars, and
Yeah.
a deputy invented that thing.
What?
Yeah. You
It's
know,
really
you
cool
serve a
too.
warrant on
It's
somebody,
really
or-
cool to.
So it's the one that raises up and they get behind it.
It's the skid steer that they
skid
almost
steer, and then they go in and I think they can snatch the wall down. on it.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's a impressive
got all
piece of
different-
equipment.
Yeah, it's got a bunch of attachments and everything on it, and these were all invented by a deputy who hasn't gotten the recognition. So again, I let the star shine.
Yeah.
I cover everything. So when you say you guys, that's a gross generalization, and I don't consider myself the same as him. And I've been working with him for over 5 years, and we have different approaches. He's a lot more calm than I am.
Much more.
Yeah. I just get passionate about these things. I'm not angry. I'm upset.
And that's when we come off different. When you come off that way, we come off that way.
Yeah. Well,
It's
you know,
just-
I give what I get
It's
also.
human nature.
I give what I get. I came
No,
in
no,
thanking you for being nice,
You get it for
and it was
pushing
very,
buttons.
you know,
So you get it for
resistant.
pushing buttons. You try to push buttons to get more.
Did I push any
passion.
buttons today?
No, but you tried.
I did.
You
How
tried.
so? By asking you
No,
the
you tried.
Constitution?
No. It's just the way you present it.
I think you have my intentions mistaken. Sir.
And yeah, absolutely.
I'm trying to
I probably do, but
clarify
the way you
things.
present it.
And people don't get what our rights are. People are letting them go. People forget those 5 protections of the first law of our Bill of Rights. And it has to be respected because we have to use this because we don't have anything else. We don't have any other recourse.
And
There's one more, and we don't want to go there.
Yeah,
I don't want to do anything.
and we
against
don't need
our
anything
country.
else, right? The press is known as the fourth estate. There's the 3 branches of government, and the fourth estate is the freedom of the press. And traditionally, freedom of the press was meant for the citizens to watch over the government. Same thing with jury nullification. Freedom of the press and jury nullification are the citizens' 2 main avenues to stop tyranny and to stop unjust laws, right? Because if let's say the people of Union County didn't want marijuana to be illegal, so every time you guys arrest somebody for marijuana and you bring a court case, if the jury in Union County, if all of them said, you know what, we realize he did break that law, but we think it's a stupid law, not guilty.
Can I read something?
After a couple of cases, that's jury nullification. You guys might as well stop arresting for it because nobody's gonna agree that they need to be arrested for it, right? And when you start talking about jury nullification around the courthouse, they'll start trespassing you because they don't want the citizens to know that, right? Like they don't teach that in school at all.
You can
right?
prove beyond the shadow of a doubt in court that those people who were hiding Anne Frank were breaking the law. The people who were looking for her were following the law, right? And if a jury hears that argument and they're like, but she was fleeing, tyranny, they can say, hey, we don't want to convict her. That's jury nullification. And nobody knows that. That if you don't agree with an unjust law, you can, even if it's been proven that they committed it, you can let
Still
that person
find them
go
not
as a
guilty, yeah.
jury member. So can I read this real quick? This is very important to me. It's just a small passage about the press. But in a constitutional point of view, its chief importance is that it enables the citizen to bring any person in authority, any public corporation or agency, or even government in all its departments to the bar of public opinion, and to compel him or them to submit to an examination and criticism of conduct, measures, and purposes in the face of the world, with a view to the correction or prevention of evils, and also to subject those who seek public positions to a like scrutiny for a like purpose. That's General Principles of Constitutional Law by Thomas Cooley in 1898.
Who was a Supreme Court justice. So, but if you want to go back to the founders, in 1774, this is even before the Declaration of Independence, we had a Continental Congress set up, right? They wrote a letter to the inhabitants of Quebec, and that letter was to tell the inhabitants of Canada, of Quebec, about our rights and what made them great, right? And the fourth right, they said freedom of the press. And they said the right of freedom of the press is so that we can, and this is the words they use, shame our public officials into doing what is noble, right? That because I'm sure you remember, you've heard all the stories, tarred and feathered, and public humiliation and stuff like that. That's what they were about back in the day. If there was a public official that did something wrong, they would publicly humiliate him, right? And that was to make him act better, right? So that is actually the job of the press. Now, of course, today the press thinks it's about Kim Kardashian and the New York Giants and the Super Bowl. But in the beginning, at that founding, there was nothing more important to the citizens than how the government operated, right? Because we just left the king, right? Yeah. So we wanted to make sure that we got the best deal we could. So we're going to get out of here. We've got other stuff to do.
If we want to get a story, or if we want to get somebody's name in City Hall, we shouldn't be rushed out and threatened with arrest.
Amen. Amen.
If I was causing corruption and something like